Hello everyone, welcome to my chess channel Aditya Teacher Chess. I'm Aditya, federated player and chess coach. So this is the game between Arjun Erigaisi and Sanan. Game number 6 between India and Hungary. So here white played the move e4, e5, knight to move f3, knight to move c6, bishop to move b4. The name of the opening is lopez, a6, bishop to move a4, now knight to move f6, white castle. Here black played the move d6, rook to move e1, bishop to move d7, c3. After black's move b5, bishop wants to play on c2. So black played the move j6. He wants to develop the bishop on g7, d4, bishop to move g7, now h3, castle, knight bd2, e captures on d4, c captures on d4, knight to move b4, bishop captures on d7, queen captures on d7, queen to move b3, attacking the black knight, a5, a3, knight to move c6, now d5, knight to move b8, queen captures on b7, attacking the black rook, knight to move a6, queen to move b3. So if queen doesn't play to move b3, then the next move is going to the black is going to trap white queen. So he played the move queen to move b3, knight to move c5, queen c4, queen to move a4. Here black wants to exchange his queen, e5, queen captures on c4, knight captures on c4, d captures on e5, knight f captures on e5, knight captures on d5, rook to move d1, knight to move b6, bishop to move e3, attacking black knight, so knight ca4, bishop to move d4, rook a d8, bishop captures on b6, c captures on b6, knight to move d7, attacking the black rook, rook f e8, knight d captures on b6, knight captures on b6, knight captures on b6, bishop captures on b2, rook captures on d8. Good move played by white. So if white played the move rook a b1, then here the white will lose the pawn. Rook captures on d1, rook captures on d1, bishop captures on a3. So white loses pawn. So first he played the move rook captures on d8, rook captures on d8, rook to move a2, rook d1 check, king to move h2, bishop to move d4, attacking white knight, knight c4. So here white knight is attacking the pawn, a4, g3, bishop to move c5, rook to move c2, rook d4, king g2, keeping an eye on f2 pawn, king to move f8, rook to move c3, king e7, now knight e5. The white rook attacking black dark square bishop, rook d5, Now knight to move d3, bishop to move b6, king to move f3. Since endgame begins, both kings are centralizing. Rook b5, king e2, rook to move b3, knight b4, so here black king played to move d7. If he captures the rook, then white is going to play knight d5 check, and winning a rook and also equals the position. Rook d3 check was a mistake. Maybe he can play rook c4. Rook captures on a3, giving up a pawn, but the position is equal. Knight c2, rook a2, king d3, bishop to move c7. If he captures the pawn, then white will play rook to move f4, attacking the bishop and also attacking the pawn. So bishop to move c7, g4, bishop to move d6, f4, king e6, rook to move c6, king e7. So this position equals. After rook c4, the position is equal, but here white played the move rook d2 check, rook captures on d3, knight captures on d3. So here the actual thrilling endgame begins between knight versus bishop. King c6, king to move d2, bishop to move d4, f3, king to move d5, king c2, bishop to move g7, h4, bishop f6, king to move d2, king c4. So white wants to pick up the a3 pawn. Not so easy. King c2. White king controlling the b3 square. h5, g4, h captures on g4. So here if bishop captures on h4 is also playable. G captures on h5, G captures on h5, knight f4. So here white will going to win the h5 pawn. Bishop to move e7. Now the black does for bishop is going to capture the a3 pawn. Knight captures on h5, bishop captures on a3. So in the game Arjun played h captures on g4, f captures on g4, bishop captures on h4, knight e5 check, king to move d5, a very good move. Knight captures on f7, not a good move here. So here knight d7 was best. Knight d7 was best because of knight to move b6 and he can pick up the a4 pawn. Bishop to move f2, so not allowing knight to play on b6 to pick up the pawn. Knight f6 check, king to move e5, now g5, king to move f5 to win the g5 pawn, knight to move d5. So bishop to move c5. So if king captures the g5 pawn, knight is going to play c3. It's going to win the a4 pawn. Knight d5, bishop c5, Now knight play to move c3, bishop captures on a3, king to move d3, king captures on g5. So here black has 3 pawn. Maybe one of the pawn, at least one of the pawn is going to be queen, and black is completely winning position. So he played knight f7 in the game. So bishop to move f6, king d3, g5 was best. G5, now king e6, g captures on f6, king captures on f7, king to move d3, now king captures on f6, king to move e4, king to move g5, king f3, king to move h4, king g2, king g4 taking opposition, king to move h2, king to move f3, king to move h1, now king to move j3, king to move g1, now g5. Now white has to give up opposition, king h1, now g4, king to move g1, now king to move h3, king h1, g3, king g1, and g2. So here white is going to lose the game. King f2, now king h2. Now this g2 g pawn will become queen. So king d3, black played the move king a6, knight h6, bishop g5, trapping the white knight. So here white played the move knight f5. So here white thought if g captures on f5, g captures on f5 check. So if king captures on f5, this position is equal because white is going to win the pawn easily. So white pawn doesn't capture by black. He played the move king to move d5. So in this position white reasoned, since his pawn on a3 will fall because of the a3 pawn is on dark square. Black dark square bishop is going to capture this pawn easily. a4 pawn will be promoted. If you play king c3, then bishop e7, king d3, now bishop captures on a3, king c3, bishop c5, now f6. So this square is controlled by the black dark square bishop. Not so easy for white to make a queen. Now a3, king to move b3, king to move d4, king to move c2, king c4, f7, bishop to move d6, king c1. Now king to move b3. Black will play bishop f4. If white makes a queen, now a2 check, king to move a1, the only move. Now bishop e5, beautiful checkmate. Thanks for watching my video. If you like my video, please subscribe to my channel. I hope you enjoyed this session. Take care. Bye bye.